about to pop.
But enough of that noise.
Time for the B-roll, boys. Welcome back to another titty-twisting episode of B-Roll Boys. This week we watched 2006's Benchwarmers, directed by none other than Dennis Dugan. I'm your host, Justin. I am joined with Harlan.
Hey, batter, swing.
They never say that in the movie at all. And
Imagine
Wes.
that. They never say Benchwarmers. Wait, yes they do.
What?
They never say Benchwarmers.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, it was a
the
joke.
team is called the Benchwarmers.
That was a joke.
Oh.
Wow.
It was named after Billy Benchwarmer.
Yeah.
In the Revolutionary War.
Yeah, where he played baseball.
Yeah. So we So this is a rare sight in a Happy Madison movie that I ashamedly kind of like.
Kind of same. This was really weird.
Would you use the term guilty pleasure for it?
100%.
I would use the term because the very first time, like within the first couple minutes of the movie showing up, you know, us watching it, we all laughed and kind of looked at each other like, "Is this okay? Is this okay?"
Like,
we're laughing
we
right
all,
now?
yeah, we all looked at each other as if we were like embarrassed, but then we realized everybody did it, so it was okay.
Yeah.
I legit laughed at a couple parts, but
There was a few.
it's colored by the fact that I watched this when I was like 13, and I thought it was funny then.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it ages well.
Of course
There's
not.
so much gay panic in this.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, like a lot of shit like that, like gay panic, fucking like little people jokes, like.
it's like the most, I guess it fits that I was in middle school when I watched this, because it's like the most middle school version of one of those, or like the gay joke is that a guy comes out in a Speedo.
Ha ha.
Huh.
When he randomly showed up in the backseat, it was like, "You guys want to wrestle?" I kind of thought that was funny. I was like, out of context, that's a funny scene.
Yeah, kind of.
Absurdity.
Because the one guy's like, "Yeah, I'll join you." The other guy's like, "No, I'm good."
We got post Napoleon Dynamite John Heater.
Honestly, I think that's why I liked it so much. Because like this movie came out a year or two after Napoleon Dynamite, and so these came out when I was like 14, 15. So these are two movies I watched like a whole bunch around that time too.
Yeah.
Because I watched Napoleon Dynamite fucking all the time and still do.
Now the thing is, Napoleon Dynamite gets unironically better with every viewing.
Yeah.
This, I feel stupider for laughing at it every time I do.
You know, it's weird because like I will say I didn't. This wasn't offensive to me, but I didn't like it. You know.
That's weird.
Well, that's the thing is I was watching it and I was like, the reason I don't like this is because there's a lot of stupid toilet humor. But then I was like, why is toilet humor funny when you guys do it? I
Well,
guess
we give it that spark.
Well, no, it's the friendship behind the toilet humor. that makes it
Self-awareness. I think that
Sure.
we make a lot of toilet humor like knowing full well that it's stupid. Where
Well,
I mean, I like
too.
I would think that if they didn't put out Jack and Jill a couple years later.
Okay.
If it's
Well,
if
5,
they
6 years
really
later.
are self-aware, then they are like they're rehashing their own jokes more than this podcast does.
rehash.
Where we have like 3 jokes and run them into the fucking ground, both socially and professionally. But yeah, we got John Heater, a coconut-headed David Spade, Rob Schneider, and possibly the most normal role I've ever seen him.
Yeah,
This is the most muted he's been.
it's kind of weird to see him act and behave kind of like a normal human being.
He's surprisingly all right.
Yeah,
He's kind of supposed to be the straight man. He's the Aragorn of this
Well,
movie.
That's the interesting thing about this. This movie is filled with the most annoying ass fucking people you could think of, but none of them are really annoying in here. I mean, as comparatively anyway.
It
'cause
depends on your tolerance level for Nick Swartzen screaming.
Yeah, you got
And
Rob
apparently
Schneider,
he wrote this. So.
Rob Schneider, Nick Swartzen, and David Spade.
I think
This
David
should
Spade has
have been a dumpster fire.
David Spade's got a couple funny lines in this.
Yeah.
When he was like,
A few.
I did legitimately laugh. He's like, I thought you're a pretty good catcher of donuts in your mouth. I don't know. His delivery of that I thought was kind of funny.
He's good at playing like a downtrodden nerd that just kind of says passive aggressive shit underneath his breath. It's probably like how he is in real life.
Yeah.
But-
like he's just as much of a dork as the rest of them, but he tries to like play it cool.
Yeah. So, yeah, his character's pretty good. Pretty good.
But I guess the plot revolves around these three guys, these three adult men
Of of undetermined age.
yeah, like I guess early 30s men that compete in a baseball league with a bunch of like 12-year-olds because the rest of the baseball teams are all filled with bullies. David Spade and John Heder are supposed to be like turbo nerds, and Rob Schneider is not quite as much because he used to be a bully.
That's the arc we find out.
Well, and of course,
Spoilers.
he's also, as they always do in Happy Madison movies, he also has a unbelievably attractive wife.
Yeah.
Like
For Rob Schneider's 5 foot tall personage.
like unbelievably attractive.
Well,
for
and
Rob
not
Schneider.
only is she like way too attractive for him, she's also like, Rob, get in here and fuck me. Anytime she's on camera, and he's like, nah, I gotta go play baseball, honey. Like, he's always way more interested in anything else than fucking her.
I have
And,
to
like,
go hang out with Nick
there's, like-
Swartzen. I
there's,
can't
like-
have marital sex.
There's like a story reason for that. Like, she's trying to have kids, and he's like hesitant to do it, but it just comes across as like, man, this guy's just swimming in babes.
Yeah.
Only it's not Adam Sandler this time.
Yeah.
It's the like I guess Rob Schneider's more pathetic than Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
I mean, Sandler produced this.
Of course he did.
And I mean, the Happy Madison isms are all like the entire entourage is here. Almost every single like Grandma's Boy and Jack and Jill guy is in here. Although weirdly, no Alan Covert because he apparently helped write it with Nick Swartzen.
I was not expecting those two to have written this.
Yeah, you guys like Nick Swartzen a little bit more now.
No.
This
it's
might
not-
have been his peak.
Yeah, that's
for
what I was
me.
going to say.
Yeah, but you like
I
this movie,
always
so.
fucking hate him, but this is like the only movie that I've seen him in where I didn't actively want to strangle him to death. So that's good. for
Because
him.
I think he's more annoying in Grandma's Boy, but I think Grandma's Boy is a better movie.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
will
he's
say-
not in it very much, and in this very much.
Yeah, I'm glad that all the shit that I do see Nick Swartzen in, he's always like some very small role. You know, at least he's not like center stage.
Because he's kind of so Rob Schneider's kind of like the poor man's Adam Sandler, and Nick Swartzen is the poor man's Rob Schneider. And that's a pretty sad thought because I don't want to know who the poor man's Nick Swartzen is.
I don't even want to think about that.
Because it's all about getting fucked up and partying, bro.
Wait, I just looked it up. It says Justin Smith.
No. How could I have written this script in between smoking all this fucking weed, man? I swear I hate how he comes off during like interviews.
Is that how he is?
Yes.
And that and his stand-up is very similar.
Wow.
It's
just-
so
he's-
douchey. It's
Yeah.
like the most dude bro kind of.
Like the nerdiest dude bro you've ever seen that is
Yeah.
definitely not a dude bro, but tries his goddamnedest to be one.
Yeah.
He's not a Chad. He's a Brad.
he's a he's a Melvin. But yeah, so how does this start off? Oh, it's John Heater's delivering papers
Badly.
by throwing them on the roof.
Yeah.
And he
I
wears
guess-
like knee pads and a bike helmet the whole movie.
Yeah, and I guess this neighborhood is like directly across the street from a baseball field.
Most are.
Yeah.
I mean,
What?
I've seen it before.
I guess.
I'm assuming it's Southern California, just like everything.
Yeah.
But and then what is it? Rob Schneider's like a landscaper, and David Spade works at a video store.
He works at like the last Blockbuster.
Well, it wasn't the last Blockbuster. It was 2000. I guess it was filmed in like 2005. So
Yeah.
you know, it would have been prime Blockbuster hours.
A strange amount of VHSs for 2005.
As per usual with Happy Madison movies, this is the third one that we've done.
I don't know, Justin.
Yeah,
which one is it?
Oh yeah, because I
This
picked
This is
all
our
of them.
fourth or fifth one that you picked yourself.
Yeah,
Harlan and I's gonna have to slip a good Adam Sandler movie in there for you to watch.
I don't believe they exist.
Wow.
I watched Billy Madison. It was okay.
I'm just gonna turn around and grab the Steelbook Collector's Edition of Pixels off the shelf.
I'm gonna put a fucking gun in my mouth. But of course, there's a lot of product placement. We talk about Pizza Hut a lot.
Oh yeah.
There's a Pepsi in like every other scene. Of course, it's a Sony movie, and Sony product placement is usually pretty obvious. But like, Sony Vios are like front and center.
Yeah, every single piece of technology in this movie has a giant Sony logo on it. And we were like spotting all these brands throughout the entire movie, and then at the very end when they're at the
like
final
a drinking
baseball
game now.
Yeah, when they're at the final baseball stadium, every single like product placement thing we saw throughout the whole movie was on a banner ad in the background, like for the baseball stadium.
Which is really weird that there would even be like advertisements or like sponsors of any kind at like the stadium they built at the end of the movie.
John Lovitz was a billionaire.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, he's got to get some of that money back. He's not going to just build a public structure for nothing.
And he had to gain awareness for it.
If these football owners have to go and get public funding for this shit, he's not going to just do it for his kid.
Yeah, you know,
so every time I like dunk on this movie's logic a little bit, you guys are going to be like, actually sweaty.
Yeah, because you know what? Advertising, you know what they're good with? Marketing.
Yeah, and you know
Lovitz had connections.
Fine, you know what's not logical? That they built this stadium in a fucking day. They're like, can we build this baseball stadium in 24 hours? And everyone's like, yeah.
Remember, what was that show?
The Titans?
No.
That's
that show where they build a house. The fuck was it called?
What, someone builds a house?
Yeah,
Would you
Extreme
like to
Home
build
Makeover. Yeah.
Property Brothers.
Yeah, this is like peak Extreme Home Makeover hours.
Yeah, but with a whole ass baseball stadium. It's got like a pool, or it's got multiple pools.
Yeah, it's got water slides.
And it's also kind of like Comic-Con in a way because everyone's cosplaying in the audience.
And it specifically has a PlayStation 2 banner in the background. It's pretty solid.
Oh, but so yeah, these three dweebs, two of them have very obviously gotten bullied. It's one of those deals where like everybody went to high school together and no one left that town at all.
Yeah.
So like all the same pricks that they went to high school with are like working at the local stores. Like all these assumed like jockey Chad bros that end up working at like Dick's Sporting Goods.
But still feel superior for some reason.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, I'm a fucking cashier at Dick's Sporting Goods.
Yeah, but at the same time, you know, John Heder was a paper boy, so.
Yeah, but he's supposed to be like
32 years old.
Like an infant.
At the same time, this Dick's Sporting Goods cashier fucking knocked the head clean off that mannequin.
That was,
that was a really good right hook.
I actually laughed at that. That was pretty funny.
That was pretty funty.
Yeah. that was pretty funny.
Well, that's the thing is, like, I don't know, like, I don't really have anything to say about this movie because, like, it wasn't really offensive to me. Well, there are a few parts that were really eye rolling. But the movie as a whole wasn't offensive to me, so I just don't really have too much to say about it.
Kind of feel lukewarm about it.
Stay tuned, listeners.
Okay, so somehow these three twerps, they get a baseball team together. One of them is one's the pitcher, one's the catcher, and one's the fielder.
Wasn't that it though? Isn't it just the three of them?
It's just the three of them. Later on, they like introduce some more like the nerdy kids, but it's just those three.
Yeah, one of the nerdy kids they befriend, their dad is like a tech billionaire. So why he's going to a shitty public school and getting bullied is kind of beyond me. Unless it was for the experience.
Well, they never even said that he was going to school and getting bullied. It's kind of like he was being bullied around the community. Because him and his little dork friends were playing baseball, and then the kid with the little fro gets knocked down and gets farted in his mouth.
Yeah. You'd think that it'd be a lot easier for this trust fund baby to make friends. Because you could just be like, hey, you want to come over to my house? I have a fucking robot butler.
My dad'll sue you.
Yeah, check out our multiple Star Wars rooms.
Yeah.
Check out my life-size Raimi Spider-Man statue.
And my AI butler.
This tech nerd's house kind of looks like any of our living rooms a little bit. Because he's got like Star Wars and nerd merch everywhere.
Yeah. In other words,
like, oh, this kind of hits close to home a little bit.
This would be my house if I was fucking rich.
Yeah.
Oh, and there was a funny thing with the robot butler. He's supposed to be able to make whatever you want, and John Heater's like, "Can I have Skittles and pudding skin and bologna?" And that makes it.
Well, that's the thing about his character is it's very much just. It's almost a lot like Napoleon Dynamite, just again. So.
I think it's way more lowbrow than Napoleon Dynamite.
No, it is. Yeah, of course.
It's like booger eating.
No, yeah, it is. It is.
Fart knocking.
But there are some jokes like that where it's just him being kind of socially awkward. You know that makes it funny. Well, but yes, there is also like him being like eating boogers and having diarrhea. That is the joke, and that's the eye rolling part.
Well, and he's the perfect person to play it. I mean, that's probably. any like care for this movie I have is because Napoleon Dynamite's in it. Like if he was anybody else, I probably wouldn't like it nearly as much.
If he was Mel Gibson, you wouldn't care about
Like
this.
whenever he's on the screen, like yeah, Mel Gibson's out there like the bike helmet and eating his own boogers.
I would love to see that.
There's a part where he just kind of like at the camera.
Yeah, when he's
And
like
that might be the funniest line in the movie.
yeah, he's somehow like dumber than Napoleon Dynamite.
Like Napoleon Dynamite was never supposed to be dumb. He was just supposed to be weird.
Yeah, I guess
He's
that's
just
fair.
like a weird kid.
Well, I got major Napoleon Dynamite vibes when they're like trying on baseball gloves in the store, and he's like, "Oh, this one's all black. I look like a dark elf or some shit like that." You know?
That part reminded me of Wes.
Yeah, that too.
That made me think of me and Wes went to Dick's Sporting Goods, how we'd act.
This is like anytime they're in a store acting like fucking weird nerds, that's us. Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that we don't hate it that much because it hits kind of close to home.
It's like this is us.
We're like, oh, we're now these grown-ups. Cool. Only there's a couple parts that, of course, they like to lay on the nerd iconography. So there's lots of Star Wars and Star Trek, and all these kids got their AOL chat rooms and computers.
I'm sorry, Net Zero chat room.
They've got their Net Zero chat rooms. They've got like, I guess the precursor of Twitch going. Because they're live streaming these games. But and
this
somehow
was
this other
before
little
YouTube.
kid, this like little nerdy kid in a sweater vest or whatever, he's able to be a play-by-play commentator for baseball, and he's kind of good at it. But okay.
Likes baseball, dude.
But I like to think of what this movie would look like if it was made now, and I think most of these kids would be wearing like anime T-shirts and wearing cat ears.
I would be.
Yeah. Instead of a bike helmet, you'd have cat ears and like a tail.
Whereas the antagonist team would be wearing like Supreme shirts.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah.
Oh, just thinking of like dickhead YouTubers being the bullies.
Yeah, they just all have that fuckboy laugh. It's coming up to him.
Like the little kids, the little bully kids are just like Jake and Logan Paul.
That's what they grew up into.
I mean, there's not much of a plot here. It's these guys compete in a tournament to get a stadium that's funded by their billionaire friend, and they compete in these different games and gradually get better at baseball despite there only being 3 players on the team for most of it.
Well, why they can get away with that is because Rob Schneider hits a fucking home run every single time he's at bat.
He's the best baseball player to ever live.
I mean, basically.
Like,
Well, he's trained by Reggie Jackson.
that's true.
It's our sports cameo.
Yeah, we've got to have an athlete cameo. At least it's better than Rex Ryan. But, or then they've, at one point, one of the other teams, like one of the bully teams, gets this, like, Dominican guy, where the entire joke of him is that he's Dominican.
Yeah.
Well, half of the joke is that he's Dominican. No. A third of the joke is that he's Dominican. A third of the joke is that he's a drunk. And a third of the joke is that he's, like, 35.
Yeah.
But despite all that, it was kind of funny.
It
It was pretty funny.
the parts where they were like just constantly making jokes about him being Hispanic, I was like, okay, calm down.
Not
Yeah.
that part, but
Like this
when
this
he's
part,
on the
this
field
shit's
and
stupid.
drinking
Yeah,
and stuff is
when
funny.
he's smoking a cigarette while on the mound, I think.
No, yeah,
Because
that's funny. When it was not funny for me and actively annoying was when they're like, hit ball out of field like
Mucho home runners. And I was
Yeah,
like,
like-
get the fuck out.
Yeah, that shit is just not funny and it's just annoying. But like, yeah, like when he like I don't know hands his birth certificate, it just says I am 12 and it has his picture. I was like, okay. that's
And it's like a mugshot.
Yeah, he bribes himself in the game by giving him that with a tenner in it.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, $10 will get me in. It's like, yeah, he's got documentation. Let him in.
That's how that works. And he starts like after Nick Swartzen's lovely, stupid fucking character brings him beer and tequila.
Because
So they're at least of drinking age.
David Spade had the big 4D chess move of getting him even drunker, so he'd fuck up.
Oh, there was another line I thought was legitimately funny. It was when that guy comes up to the mound, and David Spade's like, "Yo, you smell like beer." He goes, "You look like beer." That's the part I laugh
That's some
at.
stupid shit we would say.
Yeah.
That's why.
I mean, maybe it's just that it's slightly deadpan, or that it's so stupid that it crosses over into being funny.
I think that's it. Yeah.
I felt like I laughed way too many times while we were watching.
This and Grandma's Boy are two Happy Madison specific movies that I can think are honestly dog shit, but I kind of love it.
Yeah. Same.
Partially because of the nostalgia, well, at least because I don't have to see Adam Sandler in it.
Wow.
But it's funny.
Yeah.
And this one, it almost has like a
Put that on the
message.
box. It's funny.
It's like 50 ellipses in between.
It's almost sort of kind of potentially has a message to it.
Don't bully.
Because usually these movies will just be complete horseshit for the entire runtime. At the very end, they try to add this like moralizing point to make you think that the movie has some kind of heart. Like how Chuck and Larry is just entirely gay bashing until the last 5 minutes when they're like, I guess gay people are okay. But they're supposed to be kind of an anti-bullying, like stand up to your bullies sort of thing.
Yeah. I mean, compared to a lot of them, it's not really mean-spirited.
Yeah, like
Compared
Except towards gay people and Dominicans
and little people.
and little
Yeah.
people and people with accent, anybody foreign, anybody disabled.
Despite all of that Justin just said, this is still the least offensive Happy Madison movie.
Well, and I will say, like, those offensive jokes, they're at least, like, there's a lot of them, but at least they're pretty, like,
It's pretty light.
they come and go fast, Like,
Yeah.
there's not, like, entire scenes dedicated to them, for the most part,
Yeah, and I guess since this doesn't have an R and it's very clearly marketed more towards kids, it's kind of like, like blink and you miss it sort of stupid parts where you're like, what? How one of the bully dads is gay, and that's the joke.
Yeah.
And they're
Well-
all like, whoa, nightmares, bro.
Do you want to talk about the plot and our character arc for Rob Schneider?
Oh,
Because that's the real heart of the movie.
It really is.
Yeah, he was the heart and soul of this squad.
Aside from number 7. The robot butler.
I didn't think number 7 was that great.
What are you talking about? He did
Dude,
everything.
Outside of
made
the
a-
pudding skin, I didn't think he was that great.
Wow. Okay. Oh, fuck me, I guess.
Yeah.
Go on about Rob Schneider and not number 7.
We're gonna talk about Rob Schneider's
What
character
about my
arc.
boy Kit from Knight Rider? We've
Hell
all seen Knight Rider, right?
I have.
I haven't.
I have.
Honestly, every time I saw like some kind of like nerdy iconography, like this rich guy buying all these like 80s movie cars, I was like, I think Wes would do that.
I would. I would own the fucking 60s Bat car. Did you see that thing?
Dude, who fucking wouldn't?
Right? And Knight Rider. Especially if Mr. Feeney was talking to me.
Justin, if you were a billionaire, would you buy the 60s Batmobile?
I don't know. That probably wouldn't be super high up on my list. I want like a Terminator body pillow first.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Or like a life-size Predator figure.
A Predator
Just
flesh.
taxidermized like a deer.
Yeah. Dude, I would buy a life-size Predator in a heartbeat. Just stick it in the corner. Any corner.
He just any opening.
Any opening.
Anyway, Clerks. No. Oh yeah, we were gonna talk about Rob Schneider's character arc. Excuse me. So oh yeah, so despite being like a good head shorter than every other character in this movie, which I thought was funny for a movie that mostly picks at people's like appearances and calls them weird. Oh, and Nick Swartzen plays an agoraphobic, and his whole thing is that he jugs in his like little room and plays WoW all day.
Yeah,
and he's
sleeps-
scared of the sun.
Which could be funny if it weren't Nick Swartzen just like screaming every time he's on camera.
Yeah, he's like fucking Zenitsu.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus Christ. That's why I hate that character so much. Is because it brought back all these memories of Nick Swartzen and Benchwarmers.
Because they both have blonde mops, too. Same character.
And they both do the most by doing nothing, because Nick Swartzen's best contribution to this is getting hit by a drunk pitch,
I don't know.
and he takes a base from it.
Can he use lightning breathing techniques when he's asleep?
Thunderclap and Flash.
God, I fucking hate that character. But yes, okay, Rob Schneider.
Freaking hater.
We keep needing to talk about Rob Schneider.
I know we're trying to avoid
The most rich and dynamic character in the movie.
Right,
I guess he's the only one that kind of changes.
All right, let's hear it.
Absolutely.
Well,
I'm
he's
invested.
supposed to have been a bully when he was in high school, and so he bullied this like little person to the point where he was institutionalized. And then he goes over to that dude's house.
And sorry to interrupt. I just want to say, like, him being institutionalized is also just kind of played as a joke, you know? Like, the mental...
Yeah, like he's sent to the loony bin. I don't know, he kind of reminds me of Chris Chan.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Like a more infantile Chris Chan and less, like, hate speech Chris Chan.
Yeah.
Less, like, pissing diapers Chris Chan.
Not as despicable as Chris Chan.
Yeah. Man, talk about an internet rabbit hole to go down.
Chemtrails, look into it.
We'd like to take a break from this Rob Schneider segment to give you Wes's
This Rob
diatribe
Schneider
about
segment, which we've hardly
chemtrails.
started.
So, who out there likes fast food? You, Justin, Harlan? You eating all those American
Let's
processed
not do
cheeses?
this.
Huh?
Let's talk about Rob.
I'm just saying, Harlan, you're ingesting plasticides and you're making your cellular
Okay.
voltage more susceptible
Yes.
to the nanofibers coming down.
Yes, my
and the
cellular voltage is
chemtrails,
amplified.
and you're gonna get fucking
Too many
mind
ohms.
controlled. I'm gonna be okay.
You ate Zaxby's while we watched this!
You know what my Zaxby's didn't have on it? Cheese, my friend. I'm fine.
So you're like
Okay,
nasty
okay,
industry chicken
okay.
didn't have fucking plasticine in it?
So Rob Schneider, it is revealed he was a bully. After he's been rallying against these bullies, it is revealed that he was a bully in his youth.
A weird thing, like,
And that's the all is lost moment when they lose trust in their leader.
well, the funny thing is, it's kind of like, how old are these guys and how much do they care? Of like, hey, I guess you bullied kids like 15 generously years ago? 15, 20 years ago? But it's like you're making up for it now, and you're driving off bullies now, so what does it fucking matter?
Yeah, he's working for good now.
And he went and said sorry to the kid in his quote-unquote peanut butter fort, where now he would just be playing WoW all night.
I mean, that'd be like somebody complaining about like a tweet that he made like 10, 15 years ago. That would never happen.
That's true, yeah. Do you think Rob Schneider is the real-life equivalent of James Gunn?
Whatever James Gunn is based, all right? I'm tired of pretending he's not.
But,
All right,
but
get
yeah,
it.
that's
Rob
our
Schneider, what's
that's
up?
our entire our whole arc. Is
No, yeah, there's really no like struggle to it. Like he like goes and apologizes to the guy he made fun of, and then he's like, "I don't forgive you," and then he's like, "I forgive him," and he says that publicly in front of everyone, and then it's just cool, and
Yeah.
then they win the baseball game, and that's it.
No, they don't win. They get like blown the fuck out.
Well, because none of the ringers played. They let it be the kids versus the kids, right?
Yeah.
No, yeah,
They
that's
let
what
the
I meant.
other
Just
little
like the
nerdy
Benchwarmers
kids, and so
team.
Yeah.
the big celebration is that they got a single point and they only lost by like 42 points.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they got slaughtered. But the idea was that the kids were having fun, and then even the kids on the other team were having fun, and the coaches, the
Yeah,
other
they
team were
betray
getting
their
pissed off.
bully parents.
Yeah, we get like a John Kreese moment where one of them's like, "Fucking slaughter them!" They're like, "No, you're a loser, man."
Then they let him have a point, and then everything's fine.
Yeah, they let him score a single run. Gave them the like pity sex of baseball.
But you know what? During those like 2 minutes, they didn't bully them.
Yeah,
So it was a nice moment.
that's true.
No. And going back, speaking of ages, so I know Rob Schneider was supposed to skip town, about his bullying thing, but it very much heavily implies that David Spade and John Heater like went to school together with all these other like super old looking dudes.
Yeah,
There's people that are 50, and there's John Heater who looks like a fresh baby-faced young bouncing baby boy,
yeah,
and you're supposed to believe they're the same age.
yeah. And Nick Swartzen is also supposed to be the same age.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure David Spade's like 15, 20 years older than John Heater.
I mean, John Heater would have been like what, like
Maybe
26
20,
or something.
Maybe
when this came out. If I had to guess, I don't know. I'm not bringing up Wikipedia right now.
Wow.
But I don't know. This movie's dumb as fuck, but I enjoy it.
I actually enjoyed it. I enjoyed this watch. I can't believe I'm saying that.
It was,
He's making like those weird like hand gestures.
The Harlan didn't really care about it.
Yeah.
Sort of look.
It was a little offensive at times, but on the whole, it wasn't offensive. So I guess that's fine.
I guess
And it did actually make me laugh a few times. So
Hey,
Now-
that's better than a lot of stuff.
now, how much of it was did you laugh at the movie, and how much of it did you laugh at us laughing at the movie?
yeah. I was wondering that earlier. I'm like, how much would you guys actually enjoy these jokes if you were watching it alone?
I've watched this alone too many times.
Yeah, same.
Really?
Yeah, dude,
In the dark of night.
This is the first time I've seen this since it came out.
when I was
so
15, I wore that fucking DVD out, man.
Same.
I don't know why.
I'm glad it was on HBO Max, so I didn't have to pay for it because I couldn't find my DVD. I think it's still at my parents' house.
You got to get that.
gotta go right now.
Yeah, I gotta go fetch that gem. Even though I've got 2 copies of Grandma's Boy for some reason. I don't know where I got the other one.
It's okay. We'll destroy those one day.
Oh, we can destroy one of them.
Okay. Yeah, you got to have another one.
Maybe we can cover Grandma's Boy on the show at some point.
Well, that's a good one. So.
Where Rob Schneider goes back to being an obnoxious racist caricature.
Yeah, then you can like have your 10th Adam Sandler movie.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
That's like so. So my theme is I pick comic book movies. Your theme is Happy Madison movies, and yours is, I guess, more broadly speaking, just 80s movies.
80s and 90s cheese.
Yeah, 80s like just campy movies, I guess. Yeah.
So like
very
cheese,
well-rounded group here.
cheese, bad and bad.
Cheese is bad. Because so just kidding. Sorry.
I forgot you were on a chemtrails kick, and I was about to get legitimately offended because I fucking love cheese.
I fucking love cheese too.
Cheese.
Cheese. You
cheese,
can mind control
cheese,
me all you
cheese,
want. I don't care
cheese.
if I get cheese.
You know what? John Government can mind control me. I don't. Who gives a shit?
Yeah. True.
Fuck it.
Yeah.
What am I gonna do?
You know, I'm gonna stare.
I like cheese, and I don't care who knows it anymore.
Yeah, I'm gonna go outside, look straight up into the air, right underneath a jet, and just open my mouth like a fucking chicken. Be great.
Little cheese slut. Okay, so Benchwarmers is.
What? What we rate?
Do we have anything else to say about it?
I
This
don't.
is a lot shorter than I thought it was going to be.
Hey man, it was
Oops.
good.
What would you give?
5.
Really, I'm kind of impressed.
I'm
'cause I feel like
legitimately
that's high for you.
surprised that you.
I thought you were
give
gonna give it
a
like a
five.
3 or something.
Well, I considered a 4, but like it did actually make me laugh a few times.
There you go.
But it was also a little like eye rolling at times, so it just kind of evened out to be.
Makers of what? Poop. Harlan like
Nice.
busted a gut laughing.
Sorry. Here.
What will you give it, Justin? Nice.
I guess a 6.
Yeah, I'll give it a 6.
I can't, in good conscience, give it a 7.
I
This is too stupid for me to give it a 7.
I was really thinking about this, but
I fluctuate between 6 and 8.
yeah.
And
All right, so what do we have?
I can't legitimately rate this higher than the Marvel movies. Because I would give pretty much all the Marvel movies like a solid 6.5 to 7, and I can't give this an 8.
What's your good thing?
Of Benchwarmers?
Yeah, the
all
whole
of
movie?
it.
Is
Yeah.
it worth it to like say a good thing? You know, we haven't like I can't really say a good or
Oh,
bad
I guess
thing
we haven't
about
really
it.
bashed outside of just the normal Happy Madisonisms.
I do
Yeah.
have a good thing.
So,
This movie houses possibly Rob Schneider's only funny comedic moment of any movie.
what's that?
Remember when they were getting bashed at Pizza Hut? And then, like, he was getting kind of heated, then tried to stand up to the guy. But Rob Schneider's, like, 5'3", and the other dude was, like, 7 feet tall. So he came up to, like, his waist, but he was still, like, looking up at him, like, yeah.
Well, and
I legitimately, like,
Cuba.
busted out.
I'm
with
not
it.
sure if that was intentional or not, because like the camera was even like from like the point of view was like the guy's shoulder looking down at Rob Schneider, so it was like it's like they couldn't even like try to frame it in like an intimidating way.
Whether it was intentional or not, that was still really solid.
I think it
thought that
was
funny.
intentional because some of the kids call him Shorty because they're basically the same height as him.
Yeah. I thought that was funny.
Yeah,
And I
like
guess
that-
that's supposed to give layers to the character because he ended up torturing another kid for being short, and so he's projecting. Whoa, dude.
kinda deep. Okay.
So what's your good thing?
You know, when Rob Schneider was going through his character arc, his performance, I was like, you know what? Okay, that's not obnoxious or like super ham-fisted or overplayed. It's like perfectly like right down the middle.
This honestly was the first thing I ever saw him in. So when I saw that he was an obnoxious asshole in literally everything else, I was like, what? But he's like normal in that movie,
Yeah.
relatively speaking. Normal compared to the others.
So, yeah,
The houses looked like houses that people actually live in. It's not like fucking Adam Sandler's other movies where like he just inexplicably owns a fucking mansion for no reason.
When at least
That's
nobody's
fair.
like a marketing executive.
Yeah.
They just whore out the product placement in other ways.
Yeah, I mean, they showed him being a landscaper. It would be weird if he had like a $10 million mansion in this
Yeah.
one.
I don't know. You can make good money doing that. It's an honest living, Wes.
It's not much. It's honest work.
That's right. I mean, okay, I had a good thing, and I forgot. Oh, the entire Carlos scene.
Carlos scene?
The Dominican guy.
Yeah, that guy was good.
The adult that was playing baseball with them and getting drunk.
Whoa, wait.
I thought that was kind of funny.
Hold on. I thought he was 12
Oh, the 12-year-old with a beard and a mugshot and money.
and a pack of cigs on him.
So when that joke started, I thought they were saying that he actually was 12, and it was just a joke about like, teenage Hispanic kids being hairy. And I was like, oh no, wait, he's just an adult.
No, he's just a grown man.
Yeah. Wow, you're just looking for hate, Harlan. You purge that from your heart.
No,
All
it's
right.
my heritage.
Hell right.
Speaking of heritage, what kind of trivia we got?
Well, I have one whole bullet point.
I don't know.
Stretch before you reach, sir.
I have one whole bullet point to read for you, and it's kind of a wholesome one.
Really? Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Let's get some wholesome content.
In an interview with Howard Stern, Adam Sandler said he specifically cast David Spade and Rob Schneider to force them to work together in order to smooth over a rift that the two had with each other. So this movie, like, ironed out some kinks in their friendship.
Did it work?
I guess they did other shit together later.
Wow, I got a totally different vibe from that. What better way to smooth over conflict than to make them sign professional contracts to be in the same room with each other for like
Didn't the exact
2 months.
opposite thing happen for your Waterworld trivia?
where they all hated each other? This is what return to form to repair the Schneider Spade rift.
It echoed through the annals of time.
I don't know. I know maybe it was kind of a stretch for me to use that as a summer movie, but it was like, hey, it's outside and it's a sports
they're playing
movie. and it's
baseball.
stupid.
That's fine.
It was either going to be this or Bad News Bears. Like
I
the
mean,
new Bad News
our
Bears.
summer event was rather last minute anyway. We were
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, it's summer. We
It
should
was
do
rather
something.
lukewarm, if
Yeah.
you
We
will.
just thought it'd be fun. Pick summer movies.
cloudy.
It's summer. We do it for Halloween, so why not?
Yeah. So what are we watching next week?
Well, summer vacation's over.
For some
Oh.
reason, I thought it was Wes's turn, so I'm sorry I looked at you for too long.
No, I noticed. It's okay.
And also,
I'm back
Harlan's right in the way of my mic, so I have to like poke around to see him.
So anyhow, summer vacation's over. We had a blast, but it's time to head back to school. So let's spin the wheel, because I don't have anything in mind.
All that build up for that?
Jesus Christ.
I'm scared.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
You had a really weird look on your face.
Yeah, it almost landed on cats. Next week we're gonna watch The Bye Bye Man.
The fuck is that?
What's the bye-bye, man?
It's a shitty horror movie that came out a few years ago.
Ooh.
All right.
Yeah.
That's actually one I haven't seen, so I'm excited.
The Bye Bye Man.
I don't really
No,
care
it's
how
like-
bad horror movies are. I will watch it.
No, it's bad.
It's the bad man.
Anywho, see you next
Yeah,
summer.
actually, bye, man.
Bye, man.
Goodbye. Thanks for listening.
You're trash, bro.
I need a second, okay? Why can't anybody give me a goddamn second?
Hold on. You dig on multiverses?
Oh, no, not the beast! Not the beast! Ah! Cover my eyes! Ah!
That's it. What, we some kind of
B-roll boys.